Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Challengers League. Game number 1 is in the books, and AOE were able to do it to EGC. You know, getting that first win, it's a step away from the promotion relegation, and a big breath of confidence at that.
AOE, like, if you took the nameplates off, for me, AOE looked like the Challengers team, and EG looked like the Provisional team. Like, with how hard EG was reaching, and how confident AOE was in their strategy, and how well they laned. That's a big compliment to give over to AOE, and we'll see if EG can bounce back in game 2.
Yeah.
All right, so let's evaluate that game 1 in a very different way, with just our eyes alone, with the screenshots that we get. We're going to play Pixel Perfect. Now, I stole this from Kangas. I'm not going to lie. I ripped it right off of his bald head, and now we're going to play this game right now.
Right off his bald head onto yours.
Hey, I'm stealing it from it for, like, I'm stealing it for tomorrow, you know? I'm just saying that, so you're not alone. Don't worry about it.
So, rules are simple. Pick a category. The lower the number in the bits, the more points you will get, and you always have a chance to steal.
Mazel, I went first last time.
Yes, I get to be wrong first.
Yes.
I'm going 1 bit.
1 bit.
Bold.
Okay.
Going bold.
Let's start strong and flame out strong.
All right, let's pull up our first
Get
one.
it. What you got? What you got? What you got? Oh, goodness.
What the?
Is there any way I could get... No, it's probably going to be worse if I get it to the full screen. That is a Mega Death Rocket. I know that for sure. It is... Is that around red on bottom side? I don't know what that is. I don't know the exact moment. I know, like, what the things are happening, I feel like. But that's all I got. I don't know. Red buff bot side with a Mega Death Rocket explosion. Now, okay, cool.
Cubby!
I'm gonna take your seed and build off.
Oh no,
Mazel.
He's using me.
That's the block for Baron, as Darkwing has seen Challengers. Is that correct?
Again.
That doesn't look like Baron bit.
Is this a Viego soul? Like, what the heck's going on? I gotta move my mic closer to like
that right there is a Silas. This was the game-ending play.
What?
Not a Silas. Excuse me. I said that wrong. Wait. No, I am right. It is the Silas. Okay, I'm confusing myself up right now.
Oh, it's Winnie Silas.
It's Winnie stealing the soul of the Silas.
Okay.
That's why it threw me off for a second. Yeah, it's the shockwave that pulled in the rest of EGC. Sure.
Dude, Deathstroke is having us play this game on hard mode.
Right? Like, what is?
Wow.
Like, I don't even see the. Is that the same picture?
Hey man.
Yeah, it is.
You want 3 points? You got to earn them.
Neither of us earned it.
I'm not convinced that's the same picture, but I'm gonna take my L. All right, I'm gonna take my L.
You know what? Give me. I've seen that. I'm scared. Give me an 8-bit. I want some points on the board.
Give you an 8-bit. All right.
I always go Goldilocks in the middle. All right, we warm up.
All right. Here's your 8-bit coming up right now.
It's too hot.
All of them.
Just right.
She tried all of them.
What the hell? I can't. Is this where they block everyone in Baron Pit?
I can't see what it is.
What the hell is this?
Get a little more specifics.
I can tell they're in River, and I can tell it's late game because of the health bars.
Yes. That's all you got.
Is that all you got?
Why? Where? Who? Silas stole the Orianna ult and didn't get it off? Is that it? Oh, go. Okay, top River. Silas went for the gank play. Winnie ults out of this, and they escape, and then Ryoma dies. That's the point.
Point on the board. That's getting 2 points over to Cubby.
It's like the easy one.
You know what? Respectfully so. I'm not going to make this easy on you guys when you pick the 1-bits, but the 8-bits, I'm going to get a little bit more lean.
The Orianna icon helped, you know?
Yes.
It's nice.
Yes.
Yeah. I was trying to give you a little bit something back to.
I saw some River.
All right. We're going to show how truly awful I am at this game. I'm going to go for a 16-bit, and I'm going to get it wrong. Just you wait.
All right. 16-bit coming right up.
I think I got my first Pixel Perfect on Saturday. My first one guess correct. How is this different from the 8-bit?
It's
you can make out a lot. You can make out a lot in this one.
Yeah, I got it.
Cubby will steal the living daylights
out of this.
Can
I get full screen?
I'm like moving my mic like closer and further back
to get the angle.
You got levels.
So
you see,
it's the box. It's just to the right of Baron Pit. Is it the Rift Herald block?
Think about the
All right. No, I told you I'm gonna get it wrong. It's fine.
Cubby.
I predict the future.
This was
You should have it, Cubby. Come on.
This was the Ryoma charm play where he went in 2v4, got out, and they got Winnie.
In mid lane.
And it was in Dragon Pit.
Oh, Dragon Pit.
Walking on a Dragon River.
I don't know. I don't think that's it.
Nope. And once again,
That's Baron. That's like the.
That's not Baron either.
Pit. Oh.
It's around Dragon. This was a play you hyped up, Cubby, where you were very, very impressed with a lot of the play that was coming out to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Smoothie kind of ate Skytech here. So I thought it was the play where it was like north of this, or like on like the the brush that like leads to. The one north.
Explanation to why you're wrong.
The other entrance to river that's north. Yes, I thought it was the one there where it was the 2v4.
Cope as much as you would like. We got one of each category.
I'm actually dumb as hell. I would have seen a bunch of blue health bars there. Holy cow.
Womp womp.
We just missed the 16-bit.
Yep. I called it. I am the one.
Do you want to take another?
Right
you want to take another 16-bit?
Can we FF?
I would, if I had the option. FF
give me a
every time I played it, I would immediately.
I'm feeling weak now. I'm gonna go with the too cold.
All right.
I suck at this game so bad.
Hold on, let me make sure this is the right one. Okay, it is the right one.
Okay.
You go, next one coming up.
Okay. Thank you for leaving me the 1-bit and not taking the leap.
This was the Skytech. What did you describe it as, Mazel? The flank from the heavens. As he walked around the blue buff, it was the dragon fight where they blew up the game.
Yeah.
And that's another point for Cubby.
Bada bing! Woo!
That was a pretty high play right there. I love seeing how Skytech got that amazing flank in, knocked up about 3 people, and the follow through that was able to come in. Like that was some fantastic stuff coming.
All right.
So now,
give me the 1-bit.
You want the 1-bit?
Going
Are you sure?
back to the well.
Are you sure?
We're going back to the well.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Take it.
Oh God. I don't want it. I don't want it. Why does that now look like the
That thing scares me.
This is terrifying. Is this what I see in my nightmares? Maybe one of the teams. I don't know. The Baron pushback at the end where Shaden couldn't steal it.
Wrong.
Dang. Okay.
But
I went for a bridge.
You know what? I'm gonna back it up just a little bit so we can get a tiny bit more pixels in. Tiny bit more pixels in.
That does nothing for me. I'm sticking with what I said, and I'm wrong.
All right, Cubby, you want to steal?
This looks like a Andrew Pollock painting.
Like a mustache kind of.
Looks like a Pollock.
Like a sideways mustache.
I'm gonna guess the Jinx rocket being blocked.
It's gotta be.
No, it can't be. There's not health bars involved.
Wrong.
What do we
This
What is it?
was the Ryoma run.
What the heck?
Where he was able.
He made it out. Yeah.
Yup.
Oh my.
I mean,
God.
I think Silas with Recon like does kind of look Super Saiyan, so I feel like that does fit the anime theme a little bit. So respect, but what the hell?
I'm starting to think I might have made this a little bit too difficult for the two of you.
No.
I think you know what?
I'm starting to think. Just maybe.
I am terrible at it. Literally, I just got my first one correct like 2 days ago.
That's right.
Just awful.
Yeah.
You know how much more fun the chat's probably having right now that we are sucking instead of being good at this game. Actually, all right. You're doing everyone here a favor.
Imagine if we knew what we were talking about.
Doing everyone here a favor.
And you know what? I gotta embrace it. I like the suffering coming through. Gotta keep you about your wits. We got one more,
and
the
last one.
That is gonna be the last one.
Can we do this together? Can we do this together?
It's an 8-bit.
Figure out what it is.
Oh, this is Harold spawned on the wrong side of the wall and had to walk around mid. It was the backdoor Harold on the mid outer.
Holding your hand, Cubby. I don't know how to hold hands.
Mid outer.
We got this one, Mazel. Yeah, it was the backdoor Harold on the mid outer. No,
if we're both wrong, it's too good.
It wrapped around and hit mid outer.
It's the top. Oh no! Yes! I bring you down with me, Cubby. Yes!
You said mid outer, and I was like, wait, no, it's the top one. Oh, no.
We thrive together.
The backdoor Herald was from the last game.
Take points away from it. Bring him down to 0.
The reason I
have failed the cover casters.
The reason I brought that one up
I've done the play-by-play as well.
Was because it showed all the kills that EG were getting, but they weren't really getting that much on the map. That was still a strong gold lead to AOE, and they kept it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, so gotta appreciate that right there. But hey, Cubby wins. I'm sorry, Mazel.
We had said we talked about it behind the scenes.
I feel like I lost.
You did lose because
I missed more than we literally got 3 out of the available 12 points. I don't feel like I can count that as a win.
I feel like I won.
I feel like, yes, right? You did win. You got 9 points, actually.
You did.
This is great. I like being on the other side. Usually I'm the one getting my butt kicked on this pixel perfect stuff. And, goodness. Mazel, to be fair, I empathize with you. Play-by-play brain. We're both in the same spot. But, that's enough of the games. We got to get to the real game at hand, and that is going to be AOE versus EGC. Game number 2. So go ahead and take it away, Mazel.
All right, we will take it. Thank you, Desirex, and we will see. We'll have another rally cry halftime bid. It is AOE on the blue side hit again with AGC on this red side for the second game in a row. And right now it's again we've kind of themed it off of this, but a put up or shut up moment for EG as we see the Kindred ban as well already targeting Shaden. The Varus back on the ban table here as well.
Yeah, we have the do or die matches now for EG. They got to win 2 in a row here as AOE. Got to figure out the blue side. We're going to see, I'd say, a similar strategy. I think the real question for me with EG is, do they take away the Viego 1-2? Or do we see a Xayah deny? Or a Rakan deny on the side of SkyTech. I think Rakan ended up being really big for the side of AOE.
That was so big.
Yeah.
And they even kind of leaving it over for EG. We were asking, maybe they steal it away. But we will see what this final ban is going to be. I expect the Viego, maybe if Winnie wants to go off it, it's going to be that Lee Sin again. So similar bans from game number 1 at least. And again, that ADC ban is not going to be there as our third one for EGC. They're changing it up. The Caitlyn will still be available, but the Rakan taken off.
Wow. So paying some respect over to SkyTech. I got to say the answer to the Kate Lux, it still could be a Jinx. Now, the Thresh is tough. You wouldn't be able to run that. But still could be an option as AOE. Wow, they're just going to drop bot and just first pick Viego. That looks like the plan. As Shaden, that's the 4th ban to Shaden in the first few picks as he's going to be on the back foot. Going to be the Wukong, though.
Okay. Yeah, I actually like strong. That. Gives Shaden some more power. I think that's the biggest thing that I was lacking. I loved the Sejuani. I loved it when Ryoma first came in. But I need to see Shaden on these carries. I think Wukong, while still a facilitator in his own right, has a little bit more give in the beginning. We'll see what they pair it up with in the first phase here, though, now, as they are waiting on their second pick to kind of set up either a solo lane or go for this bot lane. They're actually opting into the Lulu before anything.
I mean, Lulu synergizes pretty well with Wukong. You can get the double knockups. You can also polymorph Viego, which is really big. But that, for me, is setting up for a potential Zeri for mobility. Now, I will say, if there's anything like Kate, I think Kate Lux actually is really strong here, if AOE are just willing to throw down.
I don't want to give Smoothie that Thresh. Obviously, he didn't want to go for it this time around, go for the Enchanter. So it is SkyTech that will be piloting the Thresh. We saw actually Smoothie do a really good job in game number 1. If SkyTech can do a lot of the same.
They could go a Felios now. I think they'd get Jinx Lulu though. But this does kind of prevent the Zeri from coming in. But likely to be the Jinx here for mobility. So
the handshake.
A little bit more scaling on the side of EG so far, whereas AOE going to try and see if they can build a comp around this Viego to get the first kills. I would love to see EG really think about Gragas here. They could use Gragas as a flex. True. I feel like Gragas is valuable on both sides. I don't know if Ryoma plays it. We haven't seen it from him yet, but Ryoma plays a lot of champs, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has that up his sleeve.
So we actually get the similar bans again in the second phase for EGC. That Olaf band away here. We'll see AoEs kind of change up. It's got to be towards these solo lanes, and I'm wondering if they continue to try to whittle down maybe Soul's matchup and get Gamsu a little bit more enabled, or if it's really just the Ryoma focus that we get to see.
If they take away Cho'Gath here, it's just going to be a Scion.
It's the Akali again.
Yeah, that could be the option here. Also,
well, that was their 5th ban last time, but
I will say Orianna, really good for EG. If they want to take it on 4, it could be a deny. Much like how, we've seen, now that like we're back in like Jinx Aphelios, Orianna's zone control becomes so big. Yeah, that Cho'Gath ban tells me that EG, they want to take Sion here on 4.
I would appreciate that, especially something that Soul has been able to kind of help out the team a little bit more. So yeah. I like the Cassante, but I think we saw that the all-out wasn't enough in a lot of the team fights to separate. And I would like to see kind of that wall develop for the front to back that we saw Mobility trying to do last time around.
And I'm curious, I think one of the answers that we've seen from Gamsu
LeBlanc
when it comes to the Sion, which just gonna be Cassante.
Okay.
I was about to tease that one of the answers we've seen from Gamsu is actually the Mordekaiser that he likes quite a bit, but gonna be Cassante. I will say
Gnar back into it.
If Gamsu wants to get weird, he could Garen, but I'm expecting Orianna Gnar.
A little bit of theming from Wildcard, maybe.
A little bit. Garen's really good at the Cassante.
Definitely is. We'll see this pickup for Darkwing's going to be this Orianna more than likely. And you have, again, that ball delivery system with Viego. They pulled it off a couple times last time as well. See what their final pick is here as their 5th pick comes due.
We could go full scaling with EG.
That would be so good.
It could go for something like Victor.
Let's go. The Gragas comes through.
Yeah, displacement's big again. I thought that would be a pretty big pick. I think Syndra here is fine. Yeah, it buys a lot of space for the side of EG and the carries, so you can kind of match the zoning of Orianna. So kind of handshake comps coming in, at least on the mid and bot side. I do favor the Orianna at the moment. We have seen Ori have a little bit more success so far. But I think Ryoma on the Syndra, you can do a lot of the similar things. It's just, honestly, it's just who gets off to a better start now. And let's
back
see
to
if Shading
focusing on winning Shaden. Yeah. And we saw Shaden actually put a lot of focus to kind of wrap around and figure out if Darkwing's was going to be a point that they could get a lot of resources from Ryoma off of. I think Darkwing's played that early game pretty well, figuring that out. And now it's about Shaden's second attempt at that. Do we get to see that focus around mid lane?
We got the hype coming into this next game. Yeah,
we're back.
Yeah, we're driving the hype coming in. You know, we got the kicker, the stinger going in. Potential do or die here for
pretty
EG.
Awesome.
We'll see if they can push forward, or if AOE cannot enter the promotion relegation tournament.
That's the biggest thing,
Keep their hopes alive. Get a win here.
Lower bracket fight here. EG one step away from being, again, the first challenger / academy team to be knocked out in the spring tournament. Last year, it was Improving Ground Spring. They were the first to fall. They cannot have that happen again. And against AOE, who are trying to prolong their life and stay away from that promotion relegation tournament, EGC need to rise up now. There's not going to be any hope left as AOE going for the level 1.
Yeah, we'll be spotted by Shaden, so nothing to be too worried about here. But AOE actually, they're going to sneak in around. Could get funky.
Make sure you're spamming in chat who you think is going to take this win. If EGC push us to a 3rd game, spam in chat EGC. If AOE close it out here and send the challenger squad of EG off into the offseason, spam AOE. And now a lot of EGC representation this time around, but really want to look back at these compositions and both junglers, again, being such a point of pride for both teams in different ways, and winning really coming out on top in game 1.
Yeah, we'll see if Shading get off to a better start. And I do also have to say, it's going to be curious to see if Shaden can go impact bot lane. Because, like, I think the two differences that we have in this game is that it's going to be a magic damage top laner in the Gragas versus kind of, that tanky Cassante for Soul. And then the other one is that it's the Thresh versus the Lulu. And if that Thresh lane gets going, that could be trouble here for EG in the lane. They really need that Jinx Lulu to be that big late game presence for them. That's a game changer later. I think it gives EG a little bit of a scaling advantage between that and the Syndra. So I think if Shaden can impact that lane at all and make sure that they're safe and healthy, that is a big deal. Because any gold that Jinx is missing will really hurt EG.
Yeah, and I like that EG are kind of forewarning to that. They get their early vision in the tri-bush over there to make sure, just in case there's any wraparound ganks or anything coming from Winnie, they'll spot that one out. But It really is just kind of calm early, some information given over to AOE about where Shaden's pathing is leading, as they did get that early ward into his jungle.
And double range for the EG bot lane ringing true at the moment. Again, Link Skytech still asking for them to continue to show us a little bit more. We feel like they've been a really big key for AOE in a lot of their successes, and we did see Skytech have some really nice moments on that Rakan that we know is so good from him. But actually really curious to see him on the Thresh, only his second game on the champion. Was able to take a win earlier in the season, but definitely a pick that's kind of re-answering the meta that, yeah, you like when our sports play good Threshes, you know, always good to see. See if Skytech can pull it out here.
What are you saying? From a guy that's been playing the likes of Rel, Vi, things like that in the bot lane, the spice is always there, but the Lissandra supports. It's been really interesting. To get this AOE roster as a whole, just kind of those semi-pro names that are trying to make a further legacy for themselves coming together as a whole here, and Link's really being that collegiate addition to it, as a lot of them are the collegiate additions. But it really is kind of an interesting matchup going to Evil Geniuses, where they are, like we said at the beginning, kind of a super team that would have been, but hasn't really matured to that.
I mean, also, of course, for EG, like, they've never even been able to get King in this split, which is a bit of a bummer. But again, mobility, you know, he's done his best. Help out the team. I think he had some okay moments in the season, and hey, he could be a huge part of making sure that their season continues here, as this Jinx-empowered Lulu will be really tough to deal with later in the game.
He was in a good position last game as well, on that Jinx, and just a little bit of team cohesion needed to pilot those kinds of 5-on-5 champs, or at least 5-on-5 team fights.
Yeah, when he's going to go take that top crab. Oh no, he's going to skip over and actually go to the Raptors.
He's going to go for the chicken nuggets. The man is hungry.
All right, Ryoma, he just got back, and this is warded, so this could actually be a place where EG looks to make a play.
All right, Shaden coming to his chicken nugget says, I want to fight. Does anybody want a reverse sweep? I say, I want a third game. Shaden does try to deny some of that from Winnie.
Yeah, that smite did go over to Winnie, but Shaden, of course, now having the smite up, will take the crab for free. So that's okay for the side of EG. Yeah, I think EG would be pretty happy with the reverse sweep. Hey, we already saw Wildcard do one earlier today on the stream. Might just be feeling funky over here.
If they can bring us to it, as we do get our first dragon on the Rift. The path kind of leading down this way for both junglers. I'm sure resets coming through for a lot of the laners. Also, at least the Noon Quiver coming out from Lynx. Maybe they are able to provide a little presence. But I already like to see that Skytech has been on this roam on the Thresh. Will be spotted out with that nice warding from EG, but it's some of that movement that you need to see.
I think Winnie, when he wraps up this clear, might be where AoE can actually look to impact bot. Again, I think that at least having a flash flay gank here with the lanterns.
Lord, he coming! Oh, that's a point-blank hit, and the Gravitum hits as well, but it's too early used. That CC chain not going to be enough. That's a lot of summoner spells on bot lane. Smoothie still having his flash.
No, I think it's a good play coming out of AoE because it does net the flash and the cleanse out of mobility. They can rinse and repeat. And that's exactly what they're looking for, again, into this lane. You can snowball with the Thresh versus the Lulu. So the fact that AoE was able to set that up, pretty hard to play defense against.
Shockwave. Well, Winnie doesn't have Heartbreaker there. That would have been an instant capitalization. Smoothie is on his roam, as he will be spotted out on the warding. Winnie trying to get away from this one, but Shaden coming forward here has a lot of forward aggression he can play with. Let's get Winnie down to about half health. Should be able to heal that one back.
I think the Shockwave might have denied a cannon from Syndra. I mean, that's what we're fighting over right now. Just keeping things spicy. So some resources, you know, being fought over here in the mid lane. As a big thing for Arcwings was able to afford the socks on his first base. So that move speed can help him.
Those are boots! Those aren't socks!
No, they're the socks. Don't worry about it.
They're not socks!
They're the socks.
You're wearing leather socks?
Yeah. They're just they're the paper bags.
Is that what you golf in? Leather socks?
No. We got nice shoes for that, you know?
Oh, okay.
But no, it's just the paper bags coming out here for the side of the Orianna. That is important, though, in the matchup, as it does help you close the gaps. You can see each mid laner actually rushing boots. Ori needs the Merc Treads, a little bit of defense against the Syndra, and also less time in the stun really helps. Makes it harder for Syndra to chain her other abilities. And then, of course, the City Boots, no explanation for those. Yeah, the stock standard choice still very strong.
No explanation. No explanation needed. And
Nope.
now it is the dragon that can be started up here by AOE after that push in. The Scuttle Crab taken. Priority in bot lane helps them secure their first objective.
AOE, their bot lane actually didn't secure that plate, but I think they'll trade that to secure the dragon. This will open up because of the later play. You can see SkyTech is trying to leech some XP from the mid lane to maybe hit 6 to think about a Herald fight. We will see if AOE are able to make a Herald fight happen because they took that 20 seconds before Herald spawns. EG is going to try and get this wave in. This is very risky, though.
Flame Choppers come through. A little bit of damage traded back. Not going to find the bot lane focus. There is the reset coming out from Winnie. Should be focusing back on his top side. You already see pings from EG onto the Rift Herald pit.
Yeah. So this is like the race is on, right? They still see the bot lane of AOE stay in bot. Shaden should be able to get this, given the priority that Soul has, and Ryoma in much better shape now. He has been able to get a couple levels under himself in this matchup. So AOE going to stay bot. Lynx doesn't get anything for this, though. He's just going to reset. So EG, I think they'll take the first Herald for the first Dragon trade. I think that favors them.
Yeah, they have a little bit of standing gold left on the map now as well. Should be the clear continued by Winnie. It was actually a roam by Smoothie just to make sure everything was going to be okay, and the bot lane island will still be a thing. Actually want to see as quickly as they move back down into these lanings. As Ryoma will try to keep pushing this in. There is that Rift Herald to be used. I wonder, I guess I would love to see it for Ryoma or mobility in any case.
Maybe.
Which one?
I think that's a good. I think it's a wise decision there, Mazel.
You don't think it should go to Smoothie?
You know,
AD Lulu?
I do love my Lulu. Rushing support items actually is not as bad as you think. You know, sometimes it's a lot of utility in those. Saw important mandate was at Worlds. But no, we're gonna move on from the subject. Yeah, we're gonna throw it on one of the carries here.
And it is just at this point, I feel like a little bit of a different story coming into this second game, especially when you're looking at Gamsu, because last game he was threatening those big Gnar ultis, a lot of the big flanks. This time around, more so threatening the kind of front to back style that EG might be looking for. Cask can do things.
Yeah, I mean that Cask, especially the AP build, can do some nasty things for EG again. Not only in a mobile backline, but also Lulu, a really important target for AoE as well.
I see Winnie actually playing a little bit aggressive now and spotting out Shaden on the bot side of his map.
Yeah.
They don't really have anything else to play around, so they'll just play for a bit of an invade.
Now, if you're real good, you go Shockwave into Cask. That's the real time.
Yeah, okay. We'll keep an eye out for that one once team comps start coming through. Winnie able to steal away the Gromp and giving a headache to Shaden.
Still nothing really on the map to be taken or fought over, so just chilling in the lanes at the moment.
Man, I want to just talk about Shaden a little bit more here because he like this season has been so incredible for him. He just burst onto the Cloud9 roster last time around last year. Well, we're going to keep talking about Shaden. So he burst onto the Cloud9 roster last year, but he came over to EG because EG wanted to build around him, right? You have a lot of faith in Shaden. And we saw that faith rewarded because he was destroying people in NACL during the regular season. He hasn't been the same, and I need to see that kind of come through here in the last-ditch effort, while Soul maybe need to be a little bit more careful.
He's going to have to head for the hills. Doesn't have that TP back, but still should be okay here on the tank. I think Shaden, like, one of the more interesting things that happened this offseason was that there was an actual trade between EG and C9 for Tomio and Shaden. It's not like, you know, if there was free agents and then each just ended up there. No, it was a bit of a trade. I think it's very curious. I don't know. I think EG definitely, they still feel like Shaden's like one of, if not the best prospect that we have in Challengers. I think that Shaden, obviously it's been a tough split for EG, but we still know that Shaden's a really good player. And again, opportunity for him to step up when it counts. Like, if he wants to be considered one of the top junglers in the league, patch changed, carry jungling a little bit back. Shaden has the opportunity in the hands to be that player. This is the time, though, where you have to see that and step up is to try and push EG to that game 3.
He does. He has the Rift Herald coming up very shortly. I'm sure he'll use it mid lane now that they have a little bit of a push. And Dragon coming up in 40 seconds. So maybe trying to hold on to it for a little bit longer to use that as a bit of a distraction. Try to even up this early Dragon stacking as AoE can actually try to push the spot lane. Maybe a bit of a contest coming through.
And right now, Shaden's dropping all of his camps to get to bot lane to make sure that he can actually hit this. So he doesn't feel like he can throw down the Herald quite yet. Bot, he's actually getting collapsed upon, so...
He's got to drop it somewhere.
Yeah.
He's just going to have to go mid.
Nice poke, though, from Ryoma. So Herald will be dropped.
You got to regain priority in mid lane, though, now.
Yeah, Lynx is here. Mobility has to come. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a brawl. See if the Shelly even gets in.
Don't have any TP, so this is a strict 4v4. Now Winnie in some trouble. Takes the Dark Passage to reset. Now damage from Lynx. Moonlight Vigil connects. It's not enough to get anything back. Just have fisticuffs and blood drawn, but no kills going over. It should be AOE moving straight to the Dragon.
AOE, they still deny the Herald, and they also get the Dragon in the back half, you got to assume. So no blood, but still very positive play for AOE as they continue to be very disciplined today, Marcel. Playing some good League.
That's exactly what we needed from them. We were saying, like, that EG want to find advantages. They have such strong potential. We give resources over to their carries, and AOE just needed to defend against that. They just needed to find a way to play a lot respectfully against Shane and Ryoma.
Yeah, just not the case. But see what happens as we move forward here. Because at least on the side of EG,
Oh, that's a red-white delivery. First blood straight to AOE, and more plates going down here. AOE, they've got a big lead now developing from this bottom side.
Red-white Aphelios, man, you can shred turrets, and that's a 1k gold lead. I mean, EG, like, it feels like because everything's been a handshake, like Winnie just got ahead in how he was able to ramp the jungle, and they've just been able to impact bot lane a little bit more. So again, AOE, I think that priority with the Orianna has been really big. And the fact that AOE, I mean, they're doing this to a challenger squad here, Mizzou. I know the seeding was close, but we really can't underestimate how well AOE is playing and how controlled these games have been from them.
And we saw both of these teams kind of brutalized in some ways in their last matchup. I know there was a lot of fight back in some of those games, but it was getting knocked down to the lower bracket. And to see AOE rise to the occasion like this has been nothing short of greatness. And I love that these players are putting it together to a little bit variation of comps, but it is the stock standard of finding Winnie to play against the enemy jungler. Now Darkwings gets a bit caught out in that fashion as we definitely cast a curse AOE, but EG want to move now onto Winnie. The Scout of the Week comes through. Not enough damage to follow it. Shaden getting a couple shots from the tower.
Yeah, Darkwing is trying to use the ult to actually design the cannon. So Ryoma gets it and the kill.
Goodness.
It's not bad, but still his first break over to Lynx, who is cruising on this Aphelios.
That's the big thing, though. That's why I wanted to highlight, because Lynx and Skytake, they got taken advantage of by Prismal and Array. And I love to see that they're able to pilot these kinds of comps into it, right? And even if Mobility got some resources last game, they were still able to be the big difference.
Yeah, and that's what we were asking for from AOE too. Like, hey, we know that your bot lane's good. This is why you put the wins on the board that you did in the regular season. Yeah, Prismal and Array, they did destroy them. That game 2 Blitzcrank from Prismal, I talked to him after. He was like, yeah, I kind of 1v9 that game. I was like, yeah, you did. You destroyed the game's Blitzcrank. So the fact that AOE, the bot lane's been able to bounce back, again, this is a bot lane that we feel like when AOE has put wins on the board, it has been because of these guys. And hey, game 1, win on the board. I think Skytech bounced back really nicely. This time they have a big lead, and we'll see what they can do.
Now we see a lot of pings actually positioning some vision around the bottom side. Really, EG just trying to find a break of a turret somewhere. Gets with this standing gold under them, but this is another Rift Herald going down, this time to AOE. They can utilize it to get one of these mid or top outer towers.
And you can see, I like this rotation actually from Darkwings, trying to head bot while this is going on to prevent the cutoff. But you can see Shaden, he's actually getting in the area. Darkwings does still have flash. So
we'll say their Lynx has a Gale Force and also a BF Sword and a pickaxe. So there's a lot of damage already coming out from Lynx. While they will utilize some of the pressure from Shaden to try to get some more damage on bottom side tower, they don't find it.
He gave red buff to Darkwings. Curious. I mean, it's going to make sure that he's able to actually sustain in the side lane. They have some kill threat onto the Syndra. Pretty interesting call from AoE. See some of the logic behind it, but next point of action here, Mazel. We have that dragon spawning in a minute 30. Infernal Soul on the map. AoE. A little bit of a gold deal, a little bit of control. I think that's the spot they're going to look towards.
When he just, for me, acting a lot differently. in this second game. It might be the same pick. The last game, he was feeling out Shaden. He was feeling out how this series is going to go. He's been playing with so much more confidence this game. In game 2, he is pushing up in the invade. It's being used because of SkyTech on this Thresh, providing a little bit more of that. Even the Rakan had that too, but it is a bit of a different feel when he's approaching this a lot more aggressively than he did in game 1.
2K gold dust for EG. I think it still matters now, but like as the game goes on, I mean, if EG can kind of keep the game here, I think it's actually good for them. Like Syndra, Jinx, Lulu, this scales really hard if you are on the side of EG. So I think they're okay with where the game state's at the moment. They just need to make sure things don't get too out of control. Obviously, denying this dragon would be massive. It'd pretty much just buy him 5 more minutes later in the game. Yeah. So good control here from Ryoma. He'll be the one's really fishing with these scatters, but yeah, Gragas is a scary one. He can really break this backline.
Yeah, red-white is there for Lynx as well. Now, there will be EG moving out of mid lane. Rift Herald still available if they want to crack down this outer tower, but Dragon spawning, so moving into the river are both teams. We're setting up for a 5v5.
Nice find from Ryoma. Again, he can, whenever he has scatter, he can just look for those plays, those picks. Important too, I like how Shaden's trying to at least zone out Gamsu. Gamsu does have level advantage and can beat up the Wukong, but AOE
is stacking up those chakrams.
Yeah, they're just gonna force EG to walk back mid with that Herald, and that's gonna be the turret fall.
Oh,
EG, they poke out the dragon. They gotta run.
They're in a 4-stack here, and I know AOE sees that like, oh, I want to damage. I want to get some more down. A second charge goes through.
Oh,
EG
Shaden?
try to collapse onto Dark Wings here, and they do find him. There's the power unleashed. Shaden gets the kill. Now into the fight. The Death Sentence does connect. Shaden has to use that second activation of Cyclone and just never gets to use it. And onto the dragon now goes EG. With AOE actually right point. Oh, Moonlight Vigil on Ryoma, but that nice flash. And now the all out from Soul helps Shaden go on a killing spree.
AOE, they try to reach when they're down a man, so they get one-shot Ryoma, but a wonderful little sidestep into a 3-man scatter. That really opens up this game for EG, Mazel, as that Dragon's going to buy them time, and now they have gold on Wukong. If he gets that Black Cleaver, it's going to help out Jinx so much.
Yeah, that's actually incredible, and getting this gold to Shaden, I love it, even on the Wukong, because it gives him that confidence to make plays and find these little ins and capitalize on AoEs. A bit of an overstatement, maybe leaving some of that confidence on the table from game number 1, but it is still EG that we're trying to fight back from a gold deficit, and that is a promising factor, but they gotta keep their head strong and keep moving on.
This has been a slower game, but EG, I think they had a couple really nice moments there. First off, catching Dark Wings when he was trying to play up mid and get that second Herald crash was really heads up from Shaden. As him and Ryoma were able to sync up again. Ryoma kind of being that mentor figure for Shaden, given the experience, and I know from talking with EG has been a big help. Shaden in the jungle, kind of picking up the map, how to play around mid, and just keep on learning as it is his second split playing at this level. And then also, the flip side, Ryoma, that was all him, man. The sidestep, no flash, that was ice cold. Just
so good.
Sidestepped into 3-man scatter. Yeah, we'll take one more with us for the dragon. Easy.
I was like, he definitely used that flat. No, he didn't even need to. And that still provides so much of the, I guess, presence in these team fights, but a lot of skill ability if AoE try to go for something like they just did. And they still have those tools available. And now they have ultis up. They have everything that EG need to set up a next team fight if they are looking.
EG's, they're still down gold, but again, like, buying the 5 minutes for me, that was the real big thing for EG. Because, I mean, if they can get Ryoma, like, that Seraphs gives Syndra so much more, health effective with the shield. Not to mention just power on the damage. I think that's a really big break point for EG. Also,
and the lead is holistically on Lynx as well.
Yeah. I mean, no surprises. He was given all the gold early with those plates, and see if Lynx can continue to step up. A great job in game 1. Game 2, though.
Gamsu's hit 10 stacks. I don't know what that does in terms of the long-term ability. If he does have that scaling coming online. Now the engage does go onto the Warrior Trickster. And AoE trying to find a roam with SkyTech and Winnie roaming together. Find a little bit of setup in the topside jungle of EG.
I mean, as long as this map setup's like it really is whatever. Like, they can try and make plays on the Lulu, but I feel like AoE They almost need to like 4-1 and use Gamsu to collapse a little bit to get summoner spells out of EG. Because EG are always able to fight with some stuff, and they can actually deal with Dragon
Winnie,
Soul.
that's a heartbreaker out. Shaden flashing right afterwards. Skytech had roam top. There's nothing left. And now the TP on the backside, the double TP from Ryoma and Soul. Link separated from the rest of the team. Now Skytech's gonna be cut out. Oh my goodness, what is happening to AOE? They're being put into a barrel here and packed up for delivery. Skytech falls, Soul gets knocked back onto Dark Wings, and that's almost a full ace that comes through, and EG right onto the Baron.
Soul buffered the shockwave from Dark Wings, makes the Ori look silly, and EG, what a bounce back from them. As it felt like for a little bit, I mean, when Lynx was taking the plate spot, it was like, is EG ever going to get into this series? You know? Are we going to see the EG that we know can show up? But EG, how they've played out this mid-game has been really, really good to see, as that's going to turn into a Baron for them, and they're able to set up for this next Dragon too, Mazel.
We get two inner towers taken out for AoE, but it is that response that you need to see. Yeah, still very, very worth. And we see actually Ryoma pushing that top side too.
Now, I mean, it's all about can EG set up for this Dragon, and the only summoner spell they burned there, Marcel, was the flash from Shaden. I will say, AoE, they have all their flashes up. So when they went down, they went down. They have the potential to make plays, but it's all about removing the flashes, honestly, from the Jinx and the Lulu. Jinx becomes Lulu, I should say, becomes a very valuable target later, just given how squishy she is and how much power she gives to Jinx. I think that's something that, if I'm AoE, I'm going to really look for.
And they have evened up that gold differential. And it is even now, but this Baron buff definitely going to help. 2 minutes to go. They still have a lot of standing gold because they haven't really taken any towers. And as another one falls, that'll be the second for EG. And trying to push themselves into this gold lead with a Dragon spawning in about 16 seconds. This will be 2 apiece for both sides.
I'm surprised AoE's not going to fight this. Look at the items on Lynx. That's compared to the items on Jinx.
I haven't seen Runans on Aphelios in a long time.
Yeah, it's somewhat making a comeback here. This Aphelios is really far ahead. I get why AoE doesn't want to fight, like given the Baron buff, but I actually think this wouldn't be a terrible fight given the marksman items. But no dice. They're going to try and fight another day, get some gold elsewhere. Darkwing should be able to take that top turret on his own. CG is going to continue to play out 2 lanes with this Baron.
Another tower does fall in the side lane. Darkwing's finally working on that top side by himself. And it should be a tier 2 that's under threat here. About 1 minute and 10 seconds on this Baron buff for EG. Oh, they're actually going to back away. All right. A little bit of hesitancy. Just make sure the bait gets back, gets those resets out. You do get that second item completed for mobility on the IE. That's a nice little spike there, but still waiting to catch up a little bit with Lynx.
Curious for the Syndra, we have the Void Staff first. I know Death Cap's pretty big, just given how it works with her stacks and her passive. Syndra count, we are at 107. So of course at 120, that is where you get the bonus ability power. Yeah, Ryoma, he's going to feel pretty okay when he gets there.
Thank you, Cubby. Yeah.
Still, I think my concern right now for the side of EG, ability's down an item. I know that, we teased in our pre-show, hey, Link, Skytech, hey, we know you're a good bot lane. You got kind of dunked on by a Rand Prismal. Can you step up and make sure that your team moves forward today? Lynx, you have all the gold, buddy. You are the one that is very fed on this team. Playing into Wukong Syndra, not easy. You get outranged by Jinx Lulu as well.
True.
Definitely a tough ask for Lynx, but if anyone's going to step up and do it, it's got to be him.
Ooh, that's a cleanse for mobility. So I will say another factor that really hasn't been existent is Gamsu. And I'm really looking forward now that he's on second item, completing a third. He is pushing into an inhib tower now, and he's being a pain. But he has TP if he needs to commit to a fight.
Yeah, you can see Soul going back to respawn. Is he going to drop some creeps there to overstay his welcome? That's okay at this point.
But that changes the team fight. That's what we said in the draft, right? Like, that changes the team fights completely. And once we start seeing Gamsu actually work into this front to back, like that's going to make a big difference. And also, having Lynx in front of them and actually able to do damage.
Yeah, I mean, I think the cask is going to be significant. If you can make that cask, if you can, bop the Cinder in, if you can bop the Jinx in, the Lulu, you have a lot of good targets here on Karagas. Just try not to bop the Wukong in.
Yeah, that would not
that's going on. That would not
or
be great.
Soul. you know, the Cassante may be a little scary. He's just a tank.
Until we press start, but you know.
You just all out your Aphelios away from the team. You're just gone. You're just gone.
Well.
But it is about kind of trying to get EG taking these fights again. We saw them actually able to get 4 kills now on Shaden, and it's a definite comeback from game number 1 for them, but they got to continue to pilot strong. Keep those blinders on. It's just this mid-game that we're getting a bit of a back-and-forth standstill. I guess late game at this point.
Oh, don't let Kangas get to you there.
Late. I want to go late.
We're still mid. We're late once we get to, you know, like, second, third Baron.
I want to go late.
We're about to have second Baron.
I'm just envisioning the future. I was calling the future in the halftime bit. Now, you know, got to call future in the game.
I know. I mean, our future right now is saying 6 games on the day, so it's going to be.
I'm here for it. Maybe it'll be
playoffs,
maybe
baby.
It'll be. Gotta love me some playoffs. And now we will see if we do get that culmination here. Push in the mid lane. Baron is spawning in a minute. Dragon, though, the more important right now, I feel like stacking objective in a minute and a half.
I wonder how much EG is going to actually put time and resources up on this side of the map, because you got to feel like the Dragon's
like
still
a lot.
the way to go. I mean, they still have time, though. Like, they want to reset about a minute before, so maybe they're just trying to make sure that they get this wave all the way in, and then they're going to reset. So, yeah. There goes EG. Okay. Well done, EG. Reset in time for the next Dragon. All eyes for me, it's going to be on Lynx. You know, can Lynx step up far enough where it's actually going to be an AOE win? And then on the side of EG, I mean, Ryoma's been the playmaker so far, but I think we have to see if him and Shaden can continue to sync up and really dictate the fights on their terms.
That is the biggest question. Now we're getting to red-white maybe, but there's the engaged fire. Dark Passage is there, but it goes to stop there. Lynx is still healing up so much though. And now AoE pulled back onto Soul. There's the Moonlight Vigil. And Soul has to flash away. A lot of flashes burned from EG. And we still have all these objective fights to go. But it's both sides down.
The wild growth from Smoothie actually interrupted the Lantern from Skytech, and it forced the flash out of Lynx. That was really nifty. And now
right
Lynx,
onto the Baron.
He has to approach without summoners this time. So we'll see if Ryoma and EG can hold strong.
The hook does not come through. It's Calibrum and Severum for Lynx, but it's a lot of damage being done by the Baron towards EG. Ryoma's trying to split the difference here with the Scout of the Week. Can't do it. You got Soul coming now. EG don't want to stop this fight. They actually want to force AoE's hand.
Yeah, Soul has an angle, so he was maybe going to see if he could hunt for an ultimate, but EG, a little bit of a game of chicken now. How long do they want to stay around here and force AoE in, as it's a tad risky? It is.
I mean, AoE are pushing. I mean, they're fine holding this fight right now. Gotta look where this engage is actually come through. Yeah, that's Scatter of the Week, but also the Cask are the big things. Shockwave does come through, but Darkwings might have left himself out to dry. Ryoma gets the big damage with the power unleashed, and now Soul has found Lynx, exactly what you needed. Not to have a Gamsu. It's so late on the Cask, and AoE have lost yet another team fight.
And the play onto Ryoma again. He turns everything in the face of AoE as the disengage from Syndra the Scatter. Ryoma catches 3 after everyone flashes out of the Shockwave. Well played from EG. The value of their summoner spells coming up big, getting themselves out of that one. And EG, they take the Baron. They're cruising for this game.
They absolutely are fighting another Baron here. And it is just that full reset coming through, and what a fight it was. I'm just surprised AoE waited to use a lot of their tools.
I mean, Darkwing's like, he goes, I think it's, like, he gets flashes out, but I mean, it's a one-man wrecking crew going. Like, this is really reaching. Gamsu doesn't have flash, so I guess Darkwings gets both flashes out of the carries. They can maybe look for that in the next fight, but look at that reposition from Ryoma. Finds the 3-man scatter. And I mean, the fight's over. Easy for Soul to clean up with those 2 removed. Cask is waited, as you called out, Mazel. And EG, like, really good setup, and I mean, a good play from Ryoma. Darkwing kind of gets that one over to him, but hey, React Flash has paid off, and this game's all EG now.
Absolutely, and that'll be a 3rd Infernal Dragon going over to them. So much power in the individual dragons, but also working towards that Infernal Soul. And right now is that 2,000 gold lead that EG have dug themselves into. They had to dig themselves out of the deficit by AoE early on. Now they have another Baron. They're pushing in these side lanes.
And this is a level 18, fully stacked up Syndra. This champ's really scary. So, well, we'll see who Ryoma can pop as, yeah, you do a lot of damage at this point as the Syndra.
Yeah, you do. You do a lot of damage. A tier 2 goes down. You should see EG continuing to push here with the Baron buff up for another minute and a half for him. See Shaden trying to find picks there as well, but AOE don't really have much defense.
Yeah, just Soul keeping things Baron up on the top side. Darkwings is the wave clear, so if he wants to rotate down, would be like one swap that AOE could use with Gamsu's cask being down, but not soon enough. Oh, that's a good fish. Real good fish.
Ryoma in a little bit of trouble. Got the Zoo with the power unleashed, takes down Skytech. Ryoma still not going down as the Wild Growth saves the day. And yet another AoE member falls. Shaden will get traded back by Darkwings, but Soul has found Darkwings now. And he's just saving that all out till he actually needs it. He doesn't, as he's saving his power for game number 3. As Gamsu under tower will fall eventually. Another cask, but it's too little too late. Mobility on fire now. And EG will push us to game 3.
And the slow game pays off for EG as they outrange the Aphelios. Thanks, felt like he was never really able to get involved with these fights given the tools that EG had. As here comes the ultimate. Goodbye.
One last time and one last ditch effort from Skytech, from AoE. This will be the final tower fall, and they actually want to get some more KDA going, but they excited to make it sure it's an exciting finish here as we get pushed to game 3. EG roar to life and are the EG that we needed to see in this lower bracket.
6-game day, and Ryoma Syndra, I think that 5 pick was really big. It helped make sure they could outrange the Aphelios, and also some of the plays they made on Orianna between Shaded and Ryoma were really, really sound. So good look for EG overall. Yeah. Soul held the 4th down to the top side too. Made some good plays later in the game. Overall, really good look for EG. And I'm looking forward to game 3 now.
Absolutely. We're going to send it to a little break as we get our first third time show here. We'll be back.